Well, here we go again. My nails are terrible right now because I had to wait longer to do them because I had a little accident in here. But today's video, I'm gonna do my nails with gel polish on natural nails. And today I picked a very, very pretty cat eye. So let's do this together. As always, I cut my own nails, but I never do this on clients. And I'm always very careful and I save about 5 minutes with this, which makes me really happy. So that's what I'm gonna do with all of my nails. I like them short because long nails are really annoying. And there is a little thing in here, if you can see that my growth on my thumb and my index finger is crazy, but not as crazy as on the wee pinky. And I would be curious if you know why is that. If you know the answer, please leave a comment. I'm curious if you know why. I don't know why the ring finger is always so hard for me, but I'm nearly there. After this, I like to push back my cuticle because I can see what my real growth is and I can see how much extra skin I have, as we know that we have skin on our nail plate. And after this movement, you're going to see that your growth is so much bigger, like so much bigger than it was. I will have to be really careful in here just not to hurt myself again, because if this one starts bleeding, it would be bad news. A little tip, never put it in completely. You always have to pull it out a little bit. That's how you're going to save your filing machine, and you always have to make sure it's not coming out. This will be a little noisy, but let's just do it. What is really important is that I always go from the top to the bottom, and I never go backwards because I can hurt myself or the client. And because I do my own nails, I'm very clumsy with this because I don't have enough stabilization. So I just have to be careful. But the main rule is that I never keep it in one spot. I always have to move it. So that's how I'm going to do it on all the nails, from top to the bottom, top to the bottom, top to the bottom. So now I'm done with this part. You can see that there are some remaining left, but I don't worry about it because I'm going to remove them with the hand file. So the next step will be the cuticle drill bit. Long story short, I use a flame shaped one, and I always have to make sure that I lay it on the surface in a completely perfect angle. So if I put it down like that, I would dig a hole somewhere here, because the deepest part of the cuticle drill bit would basically dig a hole all around. So I always have to make sure that align it with the surface of the nail. And what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna start in the middle and I'm gonna pull it on this side. And I'm not gonna repeat it too many times because I can start to ruin my own nails. And after that, we're gonna change the direction and we're gonna do exactly the same on the other side. The thing is, the rotation cannot be too slow and it can't be too fast. So you have to find your own speed and you just have to work carefully. And another thing, that if you want to do a proper job, that's why you had to push the cuticle, because this drill bit, once it's working, it will go under the skin. So let's see. So what is happening in here is this. And you can see the tip of the bit, it is vanishing under my hanging skin, which is completely normal. And that's why I didn't worry about the remaining color from the previous set, because this will remove it. That's it, it's gone. And maybe you can see it better in here. You see, I go around nice. And there's another thing, if you looking at the small details, I always stabilize my hand with my pinky, and that's how it's not unstable. So if I try to do this without giving myself any kind of support, I can't do it at all. So I have to stabilize it like this. And you can see the tip of the drill bit is vanishing under my cuticle, which is the point, because that's how you're gonna do a perfect preparation. And that's how your nail's gonna last longer. So I'm gonna be really careful in here because of the wound. And I don't go too deep in here. I allow myself a little bit of not 100% perfection, and I go on to the other one. And that's how you save time, because if you want to do each direction every nail, it would take a lot longer time. But like this way, it's efficient and fast. So now I change the direction and I go from the middle to the other side, go down all the way. And that's how it looks like on the other fingers. That's how you know you did a nice job if your drill bit is vanishing under the cuticle. And I believe you have a legit question if you ask, and what if some people don't have cuticles? Obviously, you don't force it. Like there are some people who don't grow cuticles. It's okay. You leave that alone. Like if they don't have cuticle, you don't go under the cuticle because there is no under because there is no cuticle. And at this point, I'm not worrying if it's not a perfect job because I will have to cut the skin with scissors. And after that, I'm going to see if I have to fix anything at all or not. You can help yourself with removing the dust. And the way I do it is I always brush backwards because I can see if there was anything stuck under the cuticle. And after that, I brush downwards. So this is what we have so far. Now, scissors. I'm left-handed, so I show you the left-handed version, then I can show you the right-handed version as well. So the point of this, that this is a really, really sharp tool. So what we have to do is, if you're left-handed, thumb goes in the bottom one. And the very important thing is that you can see the scissors have a little bit of curve that way. So the curve has to look towards you. So bottom one with the thumb, ring finger goes into the top one. So I can do this with it. And the middle finger goes into this little corner and the index finger goes in here. And that's how I can cut safe. And that's how your cut will be precise. I show you the wrong way because I'm sure you have questions. Let's say that I'm gonna use these two, like the middle finger will go into the top and I only put my index finger in here. That means that it will be so wibbly wobbly. You can't cut properly. And I would understand if you have the fear that you don't want to cut because you don't feel safe, because it's not. So that's the only way to do it and to make sure you're not going to cut yourself or the client. If you are right-handed, same thing. So the curve has to look towards you, not towards the client. And the thumb goes into the bottom one. Ring finger goes into the top one. Middle finger goes into the corner. And the index finger goes on the top. And that's how you can work away. So let's see. So that's how I hold it. But that's the thing, you see, like I have been doing this for 9 years. And at the very start, I remember it was so unnatural to hold the scissors like that. And after a while, if you keep doing it, you're just not gonna notice what you are doing because it's gonna, become like a second nature. So this is what I do here. And once you cut the skin like this, it wasn't even there. You're gonna see if you will have to use your drill bit again or not. Okay, so I will have to be very, very careful in here because I have the wound there, but it is also so satisfying, isn't it? And I will leave that part alone. Anyway, I know it's not going to be 100% perfect on the ring finger, but I will have to live with this because now I have no other choice. And I couldn't wait longer to record this video because I have busy days ahead. and I really wanted to record this video. Today is a Tuesday morning, and originally I wanted to do this on a Sunday, but I hurt myself on Saturday night, and I was like, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. Okay, so we are nearly there. Look at this. And the other thing, you never cut from this direction. If you can, always you have to follow this direction. And there you go. Here's your skin. Now, I have to double check if there's anything I missed. If you want to do long lasting nails, the secret is in the small steps. Basically, that is the secret. In here, I really do not have a lot to cut, but because it's my own hand, I can do it only usually from this angle. And I'm nearly there. There you go. Now the only part is missing before we start to apply our new color, and the base coat is the filing. This is the part what I really hate to do actually, because it is just really annoying to me, but I'm a nail technician, so I have to live with it. So now I'm just gonna file the nails. When I want to file the length, I always hold the file like this, because that's how you can put pressure on it, and even if you put your thumb underneath, it will help you and support you. So I do it like this. And if you want to do the sides, I do it from this angle, and I like basically the rounded corners. I hate sharp corners. And there's another important thing. Everybody nearly would have nails that grow downwards. So like, I really hope you can see my nail would have like a little belly. So from the side view, I have to file it upwards to make sure it's not going to look dumb. So once I'm done with this, I go back to the original angle and I'm gonna make it rounded. And if it comes to the surface, you see that I left it for the basically the last step. I hold my file like if I was holding a cigarette. So this part goes in here and the thumb goes on the top, and that's how I can put pressure on it, and that's how I can file the nail the easiest and the quickest way. Because if I hold it like this and do these kind of movements, I would never get there and I would never get the shape what I wanted. So that's the proper way of holding the file and filing the nail. And I'm sure you're going to start wondering like how I'm going to do the other side. I will show you in a second. So when this part is done, because I'm left-handed, so the right side is the comfortable way for me to do it. Once I get to the other side, I hold the file like this, and this part of the file will line up with your cuticle area, so it's going to be easy to shape it that way. So that's what I'm going to do. And I always make sure I don't overfile my natural nails. The point of the filing the natural nail is, with the file you only have to take the shine away, because the natural nail is shiny. So basically, if you overfile the natural nail, you will file off the layers. So you're gonna make the nail really thin. Ta-dam! Let's see what happened. You can still see that I have some products left, so I have to get rid of that, because if I have too much product left on my natural nail plate, my next application will look crop. So I make sure I have the perfect surface. I'm happy enough so I can go on to the next one. Now I'm all done. And before I would put on my preparation liquid, I always remove the dust and I make sure that I'm happy enough. For some reason, I cannot explain you why, I can never file my ring finger into shape the way I want it. So I just have to live with the fact that it will be a little different. But if I don't put the attention on it, nobody will see, only you and me. So that's the cheat code. If you're a nail technician, you have a sickness. It's called the nail technician sickness. That means that you could always see a little bit of mistakes in here and there, and you basically never satisfy with your work. And believe me, it's okay, because we all suffer from it. All nail technicians do. And I noticed a little bit here that will annoy me later, so I'm just gonna get rid of it right now. So now here we are, we removed all the dust with the brush, and now we have to put on the preparation liquids. And I just noticed that I left a little bit of thing in here. Okay, so dust off again. Now, preparation liquids. I have to use a dehydrator, which is called by Crystal Nails called Spray Prep. So basically, I have to dehydrate my nails. You can see it evaporates in a few seconds. That's what we need. If you're unsure if it's dry enough or not, you can use this twice, but you don't have to waste your products. You have to wait until it's completely gone. If you use the next step of before it would dry, you can ruin the whole thing. Why we need preparation liquids? Because these are the things what we have to put between the natural nail plate and the product to give a good adhesion. So the next thing will be, it's called acid free primer, and I can't use this on a thick layer, so I'm gonna cover the whole plate like this in a thin layer. This will disappear, so you're gonna see like nothing happened, but it's okay. I know a few years ago we had to use so many different things, dehydrator and acid primer. Then we had to wait an acid free primer. But these products are so good now that you don't need to use more than these. You could see at the very start of the video, like my nails lasted nearly 5 weeks. And usually I change my nails every 3 weeks because I hate when they start to grow down and these kind of stuff. So here is the proof. I know it's going to be a very weird way to put on the base coat, but the base coat I use, it's semi-lock. It's a 5-in-1 glitter dirty nude rose. This is a really good consistency. It's really easy to work with, but as you can see, the brush can pick up a lot of products, and I just hate this brush because I can't really work with it. So the way I do this, I just put the product on the nail with the brush. I put this back away, and I use a brush that has like an angled ending, so it will be perfect to work around the cuticles. And I try to do my very, very best with small movements and gentle movements to work around my cuticle area. But if you do your own nails, you know this is one of the hardest thing ever. And now I can already tell that I put on too much product. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this down without touching the table. I'm gonna remove the products from the brush, and I can pick up a little bit from here and can go around my side walls. And if I have to, I can pull the skin away like that and make sure everything is covered evenly. You can see the brush strokes in it actually, but because this base coat self levels, after a few seconds it will disappear. And I can tell I had too much in here as well, so I remove it and I go around this side, and carefully I work the product towards the ends. Okay, if you're wondering what is this, that's why I don't cut the nails for clients, because I grow this thing. It's called hyponychium. It's a skin under the nail plate, and I'm not gonna cover that because that's basically skin. So now I can put this in the lump for a flash cure. I only put it in the lump for like a few seconds, so I don't need to do this longer. Obviously, if I have a client and I work on both hands, that 10 seconds becomes basically 30. But 10 seconds is enough to cure the product long enough to keep it in in the place and it won't move away. So the trick is, like, I always stabilize my hand. With the thumb, for me, it is impossible. So I stabilize my hand the same way. You can do it on clients, like you stabilize it on basically your own hand, but I can do it only in like this. And the thing is that I keep my brush flat and I'm not pushing it down, because if you push it down, you can see the bristles like spreading, but that's how you know it's too harsh, it's too strong. So I am like doing this kind of teeny tiny small gentle movement, so I barely touch the product. So the point of the brush is you just have to give direction to the product, and that means you don't need to pressure it, because you're just going to ruin everything with it. And if you do these kind of gentle movements, you're going to achieve what you wanted. There you go. And it went to the cuticles completely, and now it's ready to go to the lump for a few seconds. So I applied the base coat on all the nails. So after this, I like to give it a proper cure. So after I cured it for 2 minutes, I will start to apply the color. And now I'm here with my beautiful sparkly black. So this will be a base color for the cat eye. Look how pretty it is. This will be a perfect base color for the cat eye I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna apply this in one coat on every nail. And I'm gonna do exactly the same method that I used before. Another trick, if you apply a base coat or a color, you have to make sure that the top part of the brush is always flat, so there is not much color on it. Because if you leave the color on the top, it will be too bulky and you're gonna hit your cuticles easily, and your application is not gonna be as nice. And there you go, I already made the mistake, but I don't give up. The thumb is the hardest for me. Now I'm nearly there. Yeah, sometimes I have to do these kind of cheat codes, and I'm sorry about this, but please tell me, how do you do your thumb if you do your own nails as a nail technician? Because it is so hard to do. Please give me ideas how to do the thumb better, because if I do it like that, I'm not sure that it's easier. It is just a really hard thing to do for me. I think it's decent enough. So the next one will be the index finger. This is the hardest thing to do your own nails. And I admit that I hate to do my own nails. Whenever we did the base coat, I do exactly the same with the color. I keep the brush flat and I use teeny tiny gentle movements. I avoid leaving products on the top of the brush, and I can avoid touching the cuticle, so the application is going to be better and nicer. I love to use colors that covers in one coat, because I just pretty hate to do like multiple colors, multiple layers. And if you have to do more than 2 layers, it's never going to be a nice application. And don't forget that you have a base coat, that's one coat, and a color coat and a top coat. So it's altogether already 3 coats. And if you have to do this on 10 nails, it's more than 30 times. It is annoying and takes too much time. And basically, I like to do the base coat each nail, one nail at a time. But when it comes to the color, depending on the color, usually I put on the color on 2 nails, so I can save a little bit of time with the curing. Not all the colors are good enough to do this, but this sparkly black, I have been using it for 7 years. I know this color, this consistency, it's good enough to use it in basically 2 nails in one go. I already did the thumb because I realized that's the hardest one to do and you can't see much. So now we can do the next one. So it is so exciting. Okay, so I have this Tiger Eye Infinity from Crystal Nails and it's number 1 if you're interested what I'm using. So it's gonna be the same story that I'm gonna apply the color and I have to make sure that I cover everywhere where it's black because if you don't cover it will look dumb. So you have to be a little bit more careful with the application just to make sure it is gonna be perfect. And I don't do a too thin layer. I don't do like a too thick layer. I try to keep it in between. And I'm nearly there. Okay, so once we have this done, we need a magnet, obviously. This magnet is one from these ones. I just took out the magnet. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna keep my magnet in here and I will move it up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'm gonna, oh Jesus, so beautiful. I'm gonna do exactly the same on the other side. And it's funny enough because on the camera you can see it is green, but I can see it is orange. And you can activate it like this as well. So there you go, girls and boys. I'm happy enough I put it in the lump. Now I have 2 done, so here's the third one. So situation is exactly the same. I tell you one thing what I actually just learned today, that if you keep your magnet in that plastic frame kind of thing, it's never going to be as strong. I never been able to pull a cat eye or let's say activate a cat eye this beautifully before. So the secret is you need a strong magnet and the plasticky thing will take the power away. So I just go up and down, up and down, up and down on this side and I go onto the other side and I'm gonna do exactly the same. And after that, just the bottom. There you go. So now all of them are done. And the last thing we have to do before I start my design that I apply top coat. Top coat is the one thing that you always have to use no matter what you are doing because the top coat is gonna basically protect the layer and give extra shine. So we never forget about the top coat. Because we're gonna do a design with chrome, I will need this top coat. Um, the secret is that this is a powder resistant top coat. So I put top coat on all the nails and over that top coat on the ring finger, I'm gonna apply this, but I will have to make sure that I cover every teeny tiny little inch of this surface because if I keep the surface shiny, the powder will stick to it, which I don't want. So I have to do a really good job in here. Now the mud top coat is completely cured. So now you're gonna need like a teeny tiny brush and some top coat, which I have here on my little palette. And you're gonna draw something you like, whatever it is. And we will see the magic happen. I'm just doing something simple for the sake of the video, but that's what we have so far. I know you can't see much, but now we have to cure this. So after you cured it, you will need a chrome powder. You will have to be careful because this chrome powder loves to stick to shiny surfaces. So you have to keep your other nails away. You pick up the powder and you start to apply it onto the whole nail and you rub it as much as you can just to make sure It covers every part of the design you painted on before. And once you think you are done, you put the lid back before you sneeze or you spill it everywhere, and you will need a brush to remove the extra powder that basically stuck. Pro tip, I have a brush for just the powder, and you can see it's already so sparkly, and I keep the other one away. So what I'm doing here is I remove all the powder. Unfortunately, this powder likes to stick everywhere, so you just have to do a very good job. Now here is the finished product. I put on the top coat on the top of the nail on the ring finger. I wash my hands because it was a little bit crazy powdery, but here's the finished product. I really hope you like. I really hope I could help. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.